Are you looking for relief from stress, anxiety, or pain? If so, you may want to consider trying CBD. CBD is a natural compound found in the hemp plant that has been shown to have a variety of health benefits. CBD can help relax your mind and body, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. It is also non addictive and has no known side effects. If you're interested in trying CBD, check out our website at www.hypnotize.me.com. And remember, if you're not hypnotized, then you're not doing it right. That's hypnotizeme.com, www.hypnotizeme.com for our high quality CBD products and drinks. Hypnotize Me, a sponsor of the Boss Fest podcast.
It seemed like everybody want to be a boss these days. Everybody want to be a boss till it's time to pay out, you feel me? Till it's time to pay that boss cost. They ain't trying to have them tough conversations. They ain't trying to put in them extra hours, catching that windfall money, dealing with folks not being consistent. Don't get me started on the lack of sleep, but you know what they say.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe. Tune in, catch the topic, get the tea. Ain't no shallow waters over here, we get deep. You sensitive, easy to offend, you need to flee. But them tough conversations gonna be happening. Boss Fest Podcast, they hold it down. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, man, it's going down. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and y'all gather round. Get active in the comments, don't get lost in the crowd.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man DJ Bush. I had to show love to Kevin and Edwina, Boss Fest Butlers. Y'all know what time it is, the Boss Fest Podcast. But you already know what we live in.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another Wednesday of the Boss Fest podcast. I hope everyone's doing well. If you can hear us good, let me get a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know you're out there. I'm Edwina.
What's up, okay?
Or Edwina number 2.
Oh, that's what it's saying? Listen, man, I've been struggling.
How he to fake me?
Trying to get all this stuff together.
Right, struggling hard. And we talking about we giving you a hard time, but you don't even know your name.
I'm gonna fix it. Let me fix it.
They say fix your camera and there's echo. Oh Lord, don't get me started. Yeah, we done digressed. We done went back 15 shows. And my man's out here struggling. I'm gonna go ahead and just ask for the resumes because you tried. You gave it the best you had, and
let's see if that.
Nope.
We appreciate y'all joining in.
I'm gonna get there. I'm sorry.
Well, the show starts at 7. People didn't come here to have to deal with issues. They came here, to hit about this topic.
Go ahead and run. Listen, man. Sometimes you gotta fix it as you go. Nobody's perfect. I'm trying to figure it out.
I heard you. I just had so many things, and I want people to understand my growth because I had a lot of things to say that just didn't get said. So before we really jump into it, let me know, do y'all still hear?
Because I can hear you. All right, we should be good now.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Listen, sometimes pimps mess up. I'm trying to figure it out. I had to figure it out.
You know what? The pimps don't mess up all the time, though. Like, all the time.
Listen, I'm doing my best. The camera angle still messed up. I'm doing everything in my power to ensure we got a great show. Because it's easy for you just to kind of sit over there and point out, hey man, this ain't right, that ain't right, and everything else. All you gotta do is just sit in front of the camera and criticize. I gotta figure it all out. So as I'm figuring it out, why don't you tell the people what's going on in the world? Give me a little bit of do some stuff and let me fix this and make sure we good. I think we good now, but my camera angle still ain't what I want it to be. But I'm gonna fix it. I'm sorry. We're getting there. And the bottom of my face cut off. It just ain't giving.
It's because your face so big. Like your face is just so like large that it can't like get into the frame.
No,
so
man. Listen, something happened with my camera angle because it ain't never been like this up on me before.
y'all ever had like a big face person and like they just can't get in the
Fair enough. I be big face person that can't get in the frame.
big face.
Go ahead.
So I'm assuming that we got it right. It's only 7:13. Shout out to the visuals and the sound guy again.
Number one in the business. We gonna figure it out and get it right every time. You know how we do. Go ahead.
So today's topic, let's get into it. I see one of the comments say that it sounds good and we look good too. So I appreciate that. Old Big Face got us right. So the topic is you a fat Faizon lie.
Bam, look at that. See, I'm trying to add stuff on the screen and do stuff so people can know what topics.
Don't do nothing else. Don't do nothing else.
Listen,
Before the whole thing go black. Don't you touch nothing.
this what technology do. You got to expand upon it. Not expand, expand upon it. Test its limits. But yeah,
Don't you do it though. Let somebody else do it.
fair enough.
So when we talk about the topic, you a fat Faizon lie. Those of you that don't know that Cat Williams,
Everybody should know. Like, ooh, it's everybody should know. Who don't know? Let me go on the chest. Can I see my chest? I'm just boom.
my man just so excited. So as I was saying, Cat Williams was on the Shay Shay podcast and he went in on some information. He felt like some people had came for him during some other episodes of the podcast, and he came on to set the record straight. And in doing that, a couple people got some stray bullets.
Nobody got strays. Them shots were deliberate.
Anyway, he said a saying, and he said, "You a fat Faizon lie," because he felt like, there was some history and Faizon had told a lie. And that is now one of the new sayings, because I feel like there's several sayings from that one episode. But so just to give you a little background on that, but now saying you a fat Faizon lie, what does that mean to you?
Oh, what that means to me is that you someone that's in the business trying to provide your critique to something, but you ain't even put in the work to even be able to deliver an opinion. So why are you here in the first place? That's my assessment. What about you?
I mean,
Don't steal mine. Don't steal my assessment.
you're doing a lot of talking for somebody who had us 14 minutes late. I feel as though what it means is it's someone with some fake facts. Sometimes people want to portray themselves as more than what they are, which is a lie. A lie is just a lie. So I think that's what it is. We could call it a perpetrator. In that particular sentence, he talked about how Faizon thought he had all these specials, and he like, I call cap. So why are you making a face?
Because you didn't. Did you even look?
I listened to it.
How much?
That thing was 3 hours long, so I've listened to the 3 hours in spaces.
Right. So what we supposed to do is we supposed to come in here and be like, man, you a fat Faizon lie, bringing in this information, and we telling half truths, and that's the problem. There's a lot of people out there giving half truths, and it's like the person who's able to tell the story first can dictate how the world sees you. And Cat has exposed the game, and we can look at it from a celebrity standpoint, but I'm digging deeper. I'm thinking about normal everyday life, regular stuff, where somebody that may not know you that well, think they know you, maybe you had a few interactions with them, but they out here telling your story that isn't even true. But because people believe them or because they have discredited you, now all of a sudden their story has more validity. But no, we out here to set the record straight.
I feel like you touched on something. A lot of times people believe the first person to tell a story. Like you just tell them your side first and they instantly like team you, even though that's not the full, or maybe it's just a lie. Like I just think they're down to believe whoever says it first.
But that's what social media has done for us now. It's not about who has the correct information. It's about who gives the information first, which is why everybody now says hypothetical. But I think a lot of people should be using hypothetically or allegedly. They should be using that in their normal everyday life because
everybody's allegedly doing something.
Everybody's allegedly doing something. Like, let's say you had bad dealings with someone, and now anyone you talk to them, if anyone asks you about that person, you're only talking about the bad versus saying there might have been some opportunities. Maybe it was just you.
I don't know. So I don't think you're onto it with that because that is their truth. Like if I had some bad dealings with somebody and I tell you, hey, I got some service from this person and they don't show up on time or they don't give you the whole product. That's the truth as I know it. That is the truth. Now, making yourself to be something that you're not, like let's call out these fake coaches, all these fake people who are acting like they're doing so well in business and you're really not. That's a Faizon lie. Like that is a fat Faizon lie. You really not. You just perpetrating for the internet, which is what Kat was saying.
So there's some truth to that. But for me, I think sometimes we allow the lie to manifest itself so strongly that even when the truth is heard, we still discredit.
Yeah, it's dismissed at that point. Exactly.
Because as you look at, and we'll play on the cat situation for a while. For how long have they tried to discredit this man? Said he was doing this, he was doing that.
Yeah, he was a drug addict, and all of the
he's a problem. He's the issue. The reason why he hasn't reached the level that the Kevin Hart has reached is because he's shitted on opportunities. He didn't want to play ball and all this other stuff. But in reality is if someone is staying true to their beliefs and their principles, and people want to just devalue you for being true to yourself, and they the ones that can control the narrative, then if they get to the people first, that's the truth. Same thing that happened with Dave Chappelle. He was in Africa smoking crack. And we all believe
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that crack thing.
Yeah, man. When the Chappelle show ended, it was Dave Chappelle was somewhere in Africa smoking crack. And
why would he have to go to Africa to smoke crack? We got crack over here.
We got great crack over here. Why we got to go all the way to Africa? Nobody has ever heard, let me go to Africa to find crack. But somehow, when that information came out, because the right people said it and they said it first, it was Dave Chappelle smoking crack.
I don't know. Did anybody else say that? Because it's really feeling like you made this up.
How am I gonna make that up?
I don't know. I just never heard that Dave Chappelle went to Africa to smoke crack. That sounds so far fetched.
Well, listen, that was back when the Chappelle show was on, and he was trying to renegotiate for the third season to get the money that he had earned and deserved. And they was like, "No, you made way more money than what we projected you was gonna make. So we only gonna give you this." And he was like, "No, man, this is our contract. If you ain't gonna honor the contract, then I'm gonna take you to court." And they said, "Man, you want to play that game? By time you touch down," because he was somewhere, he was in Africa doing something. He said, By the time you touch back down in the States, you'll be a crackhead if you want to play that game. By the time he touched back down in the States, news has spread that he was a crackhead. So all I'm saying is that sometimes these liars have been in power for so long that it's kind of refreshing to hear the words of a Cat Williams, even though some of the stuff he was saying was kind of tough to digest all of it. But if you can kind of
I
listen
don't know.
to
I
the
feel
truth.
like you got to come with receipts. When you the second person to tell your story, you got to have all your receipts line up. And what he did was he came with receipts.
He didn't come with receipts. He told enough truth that people said, let me help you find your receipts. And in this day and age, in the social media game, even regular people can get their receipts found if they playing the
Well,
game the wrong
right.
way.
Either way, whether he had the receipts or the internet found the receipts, I'm sure he had the receipts. It just wasn't asked in that interview. The point was there were receipts to back up what he was saying. So many people were telling a narrative about him that were in, let's say, position of power or just looked at highly, that he was almost devalued. And now he gets to tell his side of the story. And we're like, dang, we've been believing this narrative this whole time, which I feel like happens all the time in everyday life. Like, of course, it's not to the level of the Cat Williams, but there's always someone telling a fake truth about somebody else, and because people look at them a certain type of way, they instantly believe whatever that truth is, and then the other person got to come with receipts to be like, nah, that's not really what happened.
I feel that, but if we play it to normal people and normal business, because that's what we kind of cater to is in that space.
Who you want to call a Fat Faizon Lie?
Honestly, I don't have anybody I want to call a Fat Faizon Lie.
Come on, you can
No,
tell
no,
us.
no,
There's
no,
somebody you want to say, man, you was a Fat Faizon Lie.
no. What I want to, what I, there are people out there that I believe who've been trying to tell our story, our narrative,
Oh,
and because they don't truly know us, or they think they know us, they've been able to push their beliefs on anyone who can hear it, especially if they're more alike. So for us, we ain't in people's faces like that. We're trying to put a product out there, build our brand, and educate people as we go. Not one time in any of our processes have we ever tried to make someone think that we were the best or we were the experts. We do have certain set of skills and knowledge and things, but I've never claimed to be the best and things and stuff like that. But other people say, oh man, go to them for grant writing. They good at what they do. I have had success. We have had success. But there's also the other side of that story where, hey man, maybe this person wasn't able to get a grant, but this person was. But the person who got the grants, they ain't speaking as loud as the people who didn't get the grants. So they've been able to tell their narrative and tell their version of truth. And if someone say, oh man, they don't do nothing, you be like, hold on, man, I can pull 1,000 receipts out. Then we look messy if we counter that shit in the public light before time. Now I think if somebody comes to me and say, hey man, you ain't done nothing for me.
So Cat, open up the door.
What?
You can pull out receipts.
Well, I'm going into my email bank and putting it all, filing it all. Oh, you said I ain't do it? Okay, here we go.
So this comment says, I think when people tell the truth about someone and their experiences and others have experienced the same, then they know it to be true. I agree with that. So that's basically what I was saying. Like, I can tell you what my experience is, which is my truth. If you experience the same thing, that's your truth. But what we're talking about is someone who is definitely not telling the truth, and projecting that fake narrative onto other people. So I get what you're saying with the grant writing piece, and I just feel like a lot of times with that, that's hard for me to like jump on that bandwagon. People don't know what they don't know, and people don't ask enough questions. So like in that particular aspect, like if you don't know what someone's doing for you, you ask questions and you try to gain knowledge. I don't think people do that a lot of the time. So then you're stuck in a land where I'm not sure what it is. So that one's kind of hard for me to speak on, but I've definitely been in situations where people have tried to pull their narrative. Let's say like we were working together on a project. All of a sudden, we pull away from that project. You tell someone else what your narrative is, oh, I can't work with her because let's say I don't like her attitude. That's not at all what happened. But that's your narrative that you're pushing. But because you told the story first, or somehow that person sees you in a certain type of way, that's instantly what it was. I think I told you in other episodes, like someone came to me and was like, "Oh yeah, someone told me this is about you." You
What
know
is
what? I'm
this?
not gonna change
This
your
is
opinion.
2024. We can say what this and this is.
This than this. It was something about like I don't know, they weren't doing marketing packages for me for some reason. But I'm like, we never even discussed that. Like, so that's why I just said this, and this. I'm like, I don't even know how that becomes a narrative when that had nothing to do with our business together. But the point is that person was instantly like, I believe them. And I'm like, I guess, like, who am I to change your mind? Like, it just makes no sense. You believe them because they came to you first, and whatever your feelings are towards them, you don't have the capacity to see any other story.
So is it okay to try to help shape or change certain people's narratives about you?
I mean, I think that's if that's what you choose to do. It's 2024 for me. I'm not changing no narrative. If you feel that way, you feel that way. Some people gonna rock with me for who I am, and some people gonna not like me for who I am. Either one is fine with me.
Okay. So we'll go back to the Cat Williams situation. So these other people is allowed to get on different platforms and make their opinions and give their side of the stories to whatever. He then came and provided his account of things.
Hmm.
And now these people or these entities are trying to rectify to clear the air.
Right.
Do you feel like that's helped their case or hurt their case?
So the clearing the air that I've seen personally, I feel like it's hurt their case because everything that I've seen in clearing the air basically was telling me he was right. Like everything he said was 100%. While there's two sides to every story, some cases people could say three sides. So people can see things differently. But every person that came out and said something about that interview sounded like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That is what it is. And then there's been people who had nothing to do, like he didn't call them out, but may have knowledge of it and was like, yeah, he told no lies. So I think there's been enough speak that was like whatever he said was fact, in my opinion.
So do you believe that for regular people, would it be beneficial to speak up if someone is out there telling a
I
Fat
think it
Faizon lie?
depends on how egregious the situation becomes. Um
Somebody just lying on your name, that's not good enough to say, that's not good enough to call them out on it?
Again, I think it really depends on the situation. So I think if there was, let's say, like social media that spreads to several people really quickly, that may be something to want to engage in. And I mean, you've been around me long enough. Somebody put something on social media a couple times, I count it down. I'm gonna give you only so many times to try me, and you got to be ready for the clapback. But I just really gotta say it depends on how it affects me, like how it affects me mentally. Some people I'm just really unbothered by, so I could care less.
But them people you're unbothered by that we say I'm gonna take the higher road for, if they version of you is the only version that's out there, then that means that's the truth. Why
No,
would
that
you?
doesn't mean
Why,
that's the truth.
absolutely. If that's the only version of you that's out there, that means what they said is the truth. Why would you let it stand?
But why does that mean it's the truth? Because I'm just unbothered by the
Because everything is the truth until it's proven to be false.
based
And
on what?
based on whatever evidence is provided. Um, Cat Williams was asking Shannon Sharp some questions about certain things, and Shannon was like, "Hold on, how did I know what they were saying was false? They was telling me this for firsthand account. So all I can do is take what they're saying at face value and believe it's true. So if someone's posting something on you, or someone saying you did bad service or this or that, there, if you don't do anything to challenge it or question it, that
But
means what if that's what's out there, that's the version that's true.
Right. So I'm saying if I see it on social media, but some of these things are these conversations happen behind closed doors. I have no way to counter that. Um, so how would I know? Like, okay, you're spreading this. Are you saying that?
Because someone told you.
I mean, I guess I see that. I just feel like there's a lot of hate that goes around and a lot of conversations. So I'm gonna say, I guess if someone says something about me and they're having a conversation, and they say it to like negatively towards me, and that person wants to believe it. I mean, it is what it is to me. Obviously, you don't feel the same way. You going to go to bat for?
Yeah. In 2024, I'm going at all of it.
All right. So, but in 2023, was you going at all of it?
No, because I thought that if I took the higher road, the holier than now path, that people would see and recognize that, hey, man, he ain't even addressing that, or he ain't even talking about it. So, you know what? Maybe that ain't true, because there are so many other examples of good they might have done or better business that might have been done. But the reality is, people who people who have seen your good business you've done, they rarely say it. They say it to you directly, but in public spaces they don't. People who had bad business or bad service,
Spread it around.
they yell that shit. Even if their service wasn't even really that bad, but they was displeased about something in that process, oh, they finna let everybody know. And then they'll over exaggerate certain points to get sympathy, because they want people to feel their side of the story and their pain. And oh man, you know that, yeah, they did this to me too.
I
And
feel
they
like
did
you're
that.
talking about someone in particular, and I can't like place it. So I feel like if you are, just call him a Fat Faizon Lie. We ready. Like, who are you talking about?
Talking in general.
Are you? Because it doesn't feel general.
Feels general. He ain't been reading no comments. Read some comments.
Oh, now you want me to read some comments?
Read some comments.
Let me see.
I got the big comments on the screen too. You can read them.
No, I gotta go back. So
which one?
Then that's a rare. Okay. No. So if it's about my business, I can address it. But if it's about me, probably not. I guess I can agree with that. I just feel like a lot of times people say things in private, so it's hard to address. So you can go back to the big comment. It says some people create a narrative to pull people on their side. Agreed. I personally will get to know the person before believing what was said by others. And then the comment to follow that says the same thing. I learned the people myself, which is the best way to be. I feel like most rational people would try to learn that person themselves and create their own interactions. I'm definitely a person that does that. Like, you could tell me, hey, I don't, this wasn't that great. I feel like I'm still gonna learn and create my own opinion. Obviously, everyone is not like that.
I don't think nobody's really like that. I think that's all cap. I think
No, I always create my own opinion of people.
Man, no, it don't. I think if someone said, hey man, that person over there has done bad business because they did this to me, you automatically put yourself in a position to think that that person is going to do bad business or have bad service or whatever it is. And you be like, all right, let me mark them off my list, even if you don't know it's true or not.
We go to McDonald's all the time. Like, everybody done had bad service from McDonald's. We still go.
Right, because everybody has their own version of bad service at McDonald's, but it still didn't stop you from getting the food. But when you think about small business owners and people like that, that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. When you're talking about mom and pop people who trying to get it out the mud, one bad comment or one wrong, one disgruntled person can derail your progress. Let somebody say they found some eggs in your you found some eggshells in your red velvet cupcakes. Man, that bitch leave eggshells in the red velvet cupcakes. I never eat her cupcakes. They just got eggshells in them.
I wouldn't even say it out loud. So if I found some eggshells in my red velvet cupcakes, I wouldn't even tell anyone. I would just be like, dang, throw that one away. I'm not that person. I'm not gonna blast somebody. I actually give people in their business multiple options, like multiple chances. And you know that to be facts. But I'm just not the person to blast them. I definitely think with the new social media, people do get on the bandwagon too quickly to tear others down, for sure. But I hope, and especially as a business owner myself, I know that I definitely give people multiple chances. So much to the point where sometimes it's hurt me giving them chances.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I think it's if it's something you really want to pursue, if you give it multiple chances. But if it's not, because I done seen you go through like, I don't even think it's that many people that do here in Polk County.
Oh, it's a lot of them.
But you don't went through all of them.
That's not true. But okay, so this comment says, in the case, you reach out to the person and you tell them about the cupcakes. Give them a chance to fix it and remake the order or get your money back. Agreed. No big deal. You don't got to blast nobody on Facebook. You don't got to be, these some crunch cupcakes. It's ridiculous. Y'all, look at this. It's not necessary. Everybody make mistakes. They could have been making a billion orders. You know, things happen.
So you're saying somebody make a mistake, they could have been making a billion orders. You're going to reach out to them and tell them, hey, man, you know you messed up on this. What can we do to fix it? Or what?
I already told you. I probably am not going to say anything at all.
I'm going to see what you finna lie. I'm finna call you a Fat Faizon Lie.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you was finna say some bullshit for the people out there like, oh, yeah, I do that. Like, bro, you ain't doing none of that.
First of all, to be very clear, there's a lot of times where I feel like we didn't get products or services that we were supposed to. And the person who said, keep your mouth shut, don't say nothing, was you. I would have reached out to that person and say, hey, this isn't what we talked about or what I was looking for in this product. Is there a way to come to a resolution? But you say, eat it. And that's what we do.
So the difference is, you are correct. For me, I believe there's a time and a place to discuss certain things.
The time and the place is always when my money is involved, though.
Right. But sometimes it's like, man, I got 50 other things to focus on. If I give
my money not one of them?
And your money is one of them.
So this comment, a lie, don't care who tell it. But continue.
I'm just saying. No.
You got 50 other things to focus on, and the fact that you didn't get the product that you said you're supposed to get or that you were contracted for is not one of those things that's top priority on your list.
No, for me, I hate confrontation. And I think because I didn't want to deal with that, because what typically happens is,
dang, man.
What?
I just came to a realization you said that, and like my soul sunk. I'm like, man, we not addressing situations because you don't like confrontation.
I don't like
I'm down for it. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm finna let you go in 2024. I'm letting you go. So what typically happens is,
that's crazy to me.
So typically happens is, in our relationship, Edwina be ready to go. And I'll be like, man, let's just sit down, let's breathe, woosah it out. It ain't that serious. But sometimes it'd be like, man, this is some stupid ass shit to have to deal with.
Sometimes you have to teach people how to treat you. Yeah, sometimes you let it go. You understand that this is a mistake. Sometimes, though, people need to stand on business. You got to pick and choose what situation are we in right now.
I got you. We moving in different spaces now. We standing on business. A lot of people finna get their feelings hurt because I'm letting you go. Then I'm gonna say what I need to say now. That's all I'm saying.
I actually experienced something similar and didn't want to offend the person, and a person close to them informed them. The business owner apologized and refunded money. They was very understanding. I'm very interested in that particular story because I want to know like how the person close to them found out, because that was really good that they refunded the money. But in a lot of times, like as the consumer, as Kevin said, we just taking L's all around here. Like we understand everyone's a small business, but how many L's can you take supporting small businesses?
The same amount of L's you would take supporting large businesses.
I don't take no L's. I get my refund, my money back, plus some. I refund some stuff that like really I got in refund. I get no L's.
To the FBI agents watching, she's lying. She's taking L's. And whatever she was supposed to give back, she gave it back. Disclaimer. You may continue.
Okay, so the person referred me. They asked how was the product, and I told them, okay, that makes sense.
So I'm just taking into account of everything that's kind of happening in the climate that we're in. If you look at from the political climate, business climate, social climate, the world is changing. The ability to keep stuff a secret or to control the narrative on one side, especially if that person had more influence, is dying. We're living in a day and age that a regular person sitting in their living room can have just as much influence and persuasion as the president of the United States. And a lot of big businesses are starting to see that, hey man, the control that we used to have isn't there anymore. So, but I think it's also, I think we as small business people or just normal everyday people got to recognize that too now, that sometimes those little bitty half lies or half truths that we tried to tell to inflate ourselves or make ourselves seem either the savior or the victor, savior or victor, that can be exposed, because you got to stand on that shit now. Like you said, you got to stand on business now. If you was wrong, just say you was wrong, eat it and move on, learn from it. Before, you could hide behind some lies and people believe that shit.
I think you said something there. Because I do feel like a lot of times the service that like I could be given is based on how popular people may perceive me to be. And I think I talked on that on another episode, where I feel like people who are more popular in the area get a higher level of service. But now that, social media is kind of changing things, where you can get on, any platform and blast someone for not getting the service, or you can get on there and be like, hey, this was amazing. And they get booked more just because, you said, like, I really appreciate what they did. So social media is changing that aspect for them. I do agree with this comment. Lamar says, I will say this: if it makes it to Facebook, I gave 100 chances and it has to stop. So for me, if it makes it to Facebook, you can guarantee 1000% I'm going to address it. And if I address it, I'm coming with receipts. And if I come with receipts, somebody gonna have to shut down Facebook, because there is no stopping that conversation. Like, once I'm on go, I'm just on go. Like, that's just what it is. So right now we're calling everybody out for being a Fat Faizon Lie. And Kevin has some close people. It felt like they were close to his heart, that he wanted to say in 2024, I'm gonna call these people a Fat Faizon Lie.
I'm not calling anybody a lie. What I will do now is, I realize I'm not doing anyone a courtesy by holding on to my version of the truth, because when someone asks me about these people, I let it out.
Oh, so you still tell them that their service was crappy? You
Not
still
to,
say it?
No, because let's say somebody provided bad service for me, right? And I feel like I've given them enough chances to get it right or fix it and things like
Okay.
that. If someone else asks me about that person, well, I may not do nothing on a social media platform, but if I read, hey man, what was such and such like? Listen, the one thing I will do, if they got a talent or a
You
gift.
backtrack. You backtrack.
No.
What you
If they got a
do?
talent, I will give them credit for whatever that talent is, for whatever that gift is. I'll say, listen, this person has phenomenal work. They may have piss poor, shitty customer service. Like, if you catch them on their A game, I promise you're gonna like what you're gonna get. But you may not be able to reach these motherfuckers from time to time. You may not be able to see them. You may call them 1,000 times, they may not respond. Or they might have told you a deadline that they was gonna give something to you, and it goes well beyond that. But I'm not that person that's gonna put it out on the book, because I try to think, man, life happens to all of us. But if it was just some basic communication just dropped out there on you, so that way we were aligned, then it would minimize that crap. But I think a lot of times people feel like if I tell somebody, man, I may fall short of my goal, that people, that person's gonna hold it against them. And I think most people realize, if you just be just
Yeah, just
transparent,
communicate. Mhm.
that people have compassion and understand. There are certain things where there might be strict deadlines, and that needs to be communicated up front. Hey man, I need this product by this time because it correlates with this event.
I don't know. So I feel like you're talking about one particular instance. For me,
talking about
when I've gotten crappy service, it's been just blatantly like you just trying me. Like I just feel like you're playing in my face. So, and if someone asks me about that, I think I am pretty transparent. And a lot of times I can tell that this person's work is good or this is good. It just wasn't good for me. And then that's the story that I tell. Look, for me, it's crap. Like, I wouldn't go back. But for you, you may have a different outcome. You may actually like the service. But for me, trash.
That's why I said we're hairdressers. You done went through all of them in Polk County.
I didn't. It's a lot of hairdressers in Polk County.
Man,
y'all just tag some because I do go through them. I've been going to the same person now for I think a year, so pretty good. I'm pretty solid there, so I appreciate that.
Fair enough.
But
you
in my time frame,
in your time, you have seen like some service someone gives someone up like, man, why couldn't I get that? I asked for that. I get it. All I asked you to do is reproduce what you did there. I didn't ask you to do nothing different. Just reproduce what you did right there. But you gave me this bullshit.
I think hairdressers is an easy one to follow on because they stay on TikTok, where, we got all these different rules and blah, blah, blah. But I think services in our area seem to have certain levels to them regardless. So I'm gonna go back to the comments. This says, not that you have to call people out. You just have to know how to deal with them from that point moving forward. Or exactly, not deal with them at all. This says, I'm not going to beg you and have to pay you, period. Now that needs to be law for 2024. I'm not going to beg you and pay you. That's ridiculous. If you got to write that on the palm of your hand and say, I'm not going to beg you and pay you, remember that. Because in 2024, we're moving so many different, in so many different lanes. I think about 2023 and it felt like a lot of walking on eggshells. Like, we really begging for stuff and writing checks? That's wild.
Like, I paid you. You said you was going to deliver this time. Why ain't I got my product? Why ain't I got my service? Just deliver. So on your timeline. And if something changes, then tell me it changed.
Communicate. Absolutely.
But yeah, that's something I hate. I hate. Feel like I got to beg somebody for something. Ooh, put that one on the shirt.
Stop trying to put stuff on the shirt. I don't understand why we protect people when they're wrong. If I can tell the service was good, if I can yell the service was good, then I can yell it was terrible. I agree with that. I mean, I just think there's certain levels to that. I'm just not trying to out someone's small business, and I know they're trying.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like I should be able to tell if I can yell it or tell it to you, then I'm gonna tell it to you directly.
So that's what it is. Don't out them on social media, but give them a chance to fix the mistake. Now, if they don't fix it, that changes the whole narrative, but give them a chance to fix it. What we're saying you have done is you haven't allowed them a chance to even be better, to know that they've made a mistake, because we've just been quiet about it.
I will talk about my personal experience, what I feel, and things that have happened to me in my business where I'm providing a service. I hit A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. Everything that I said I was going to do, I did it plus more. Stuff didn't come out the way the customer anticipated because they didn't understand the scope of the work. They go and blast.
Or maybe they didn't do their part, but okay.
Or maybe they didn't do their part. They go and tell somebody else, oh man, they didn't do this. He ain't do this. They ain't do that. But they telling that shit to everybody. But then they'll come back to me and be like, hey, is it any way we can do this? And I'm in the background.
So are you speaking of someone in particular that you like to call a Fat Faizon Lie?
I guess a few of them out there. But it ain't just one.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Just like Cat Widget, this scenario applies to 7 people. 7.
Listen, this says I'm so wondering who y'all talking about. I don't know who he's talking about either.
This scenario
I'm
applies
asking
to
too.
7 individuals. 7.
Just throw out names. Maybe you'll get a look, like he'll wink once or something to tell us. I honestly don't know who he's talking about. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Whatever. All I'm saying is that a lot of people are good to yell, and then when you go and fix it,
they don't yell about how
they don't yell about how you fix it.
They quiet now. Yeah,
they quiet as hell. So people make mistakes. So I made a mistake, or you didn't understand the scope of the work. But then I go, not only do I Now explain what the scope of the work was. Do more than what the scope of the work that I told you I was gonna do. Then I'm doing something additional on top of that to try to make sure that you have a decent experience. And you yelled the shit that you dislike. But now that you came back and I'm trying to fix it, you quiet as hell.
We two different people. I'm gonna be honest. If I know that you yelled about the dislike of the service, I'm less likely to even come back and be like, "Hey, let me rectify." I mean, you don't already done the mouth work on how bad the service is. I might as well just live in that space. Why go above and beyond to try to fix something you don't already tarnish the brand in the first place? I would probably just let it ride. So we're definitely two different individuals in that aspect. But if we're standing on business in 2024, there's definitely a different way we have to approach business, and it is holding people accountable. And if, like you said, if someone wants to yell out something and it's a non-truth, call them a lie.
But they're loved, they're favorites. People
Favorites to who? Who makes the people favorites?
Whoever. So I thought this was unique to our area, but I realize it's not. People click up and they build these fake families. That's my cousin, my family, whatever. And if someone in that group says this person done something, then everybody around them has to now agree to what this person says.
So, like, if I don't like you, we all don't like you.
Then we all don't like you.
Okay, just making sure I understand. Okay.
And that's what pisses me off about a lot of things. Listen, in this business space, I ain't gonna throw no names out there, but I am gonna get a little messy. In this business space, me and my wife have never tried to be the best or the experts and say we know it all, anything like that. But there's a lot of people that move around us that's acting like they up there. They still running they 9 to 5 just like me, but they act like they out here really super entrepreneur and shit like that. Man, own that shit. They act like they making big moves, bro. You barely moving at all.
Yes. So wait a minute. I read one comment before the other one. And I was just so into it. When you write a company like Walmart, Target, or whoever, if they drop the ball, the CEO or management reaches out to you to fix it, regardless if you already badmouth them because it's the right thing to do. I guess, but I am not Walmart, Target, or any of those other people. That's not who I am.
Go ahead.
Oh,
you just ready for that one. Go ahead.
No, so this one just says, I understand, Kevin. There are cliques and they do quality work for the people in the clique. And that's basically what I was saying. If you're part of the clique, then you get excellent work. And if you're on the outside, you may get subpar, which I feel like that's a problem. If we're building brands here, why is there different levels of service?
Because they don't value each customer equally. And that's the one thing I've tried to do in my business, whether you a $100 customer or $1,000 customer, whatever, I'm giving you the same level of service. I may not be giving you all the work that goes with a $100 package or $1,000 package, but my goal is to give you the same level of customer service, the experience. So now it can help move you to a higher grade package when it's your time. A lot of these people out here, like, it's just crazy to me how they will take the first negative thing they hear and make it be a truth, or they know that they didn't do their part in the situation and try to make it be your fault that shit failed or it didn't go
that's
right.
a huge thing.
That's the one that blows me the most in this game. You think about all the hard work you did, all like the commitments and stuff. I'm just saying, and I like to try to use myself as a reference because I don't want to use other people.
No, just come on. Like, you want to throw some people's name out there,
man.
you being messy anyways. Come on now, Mr. Messy. Go ahead and throw it out there.
It just
Let's just use a name that starts with the person, like the letter of the person you're thinking of.
No.
Oh. But whatever.
All I'm saying, well, what I'm going to say is that a lot of the times people out here, you say, hey, this is what I'm expecting for you out of business, right? Either they expecting it out of me or I'm expecting it out of them. You think you have it lined out. All right, man, this is what my expectations are. This is what I'm hoping to get out of it. Cool. And all of a sudden, once service is done, you're like, man, this is BS, bruh. this ain't what we discussed. And they looking at you like, oh no, we didn't discuss that. We ain't do that. Just know in 2024, every conversation I'm having, especially when I'm exchanging money, coming with a contract. Either you write it or I write it. But it's best you write it, because if I write it, that bitch is gonna be clear with a notary stamp.
A notary
A
stamp.
notary stamp in 2024. I ain't got time for this bullshit.
You sound real aggressive. Like it's really like touching your soul, and we don't know.
It's the
what you're
microphone.
talking about. That's what it is.
It's a good quality microphone.
I mean,
I'm actually whispering.
You're not whispering at all. You're very animated. I
whispering.
feel that you feel this.
I'm whispering. It's just the microphone. It just projects.
So in 2024, what Kevin is saying is don't come at him sideways in any regard. Whether you're talking about his business, are you doing business with him? He's standing on business and he outing everybody.
I'm outing everybody. A lot of people out here pretending to be coaches and they got the winning formula. Like, bro, man, y'all need to go sit down. Some of y'all barely just got started, and y'all out here trying to put courses together and shit like that. Come on, man, stand down. Actually learn something. If someone trying to teach you and train you and do something with you, and they ain't got nobody that they look to for inspiration, man, just walk away from them. Everybody should have an inspiration. Everybody should have like, man, I'm striving to be this person, or have a coach or something. I just feel like a lot of people get out here in these spaces, they do bad business, and the best thing they can do is try to discredit what you do so that they don't look as bad.
I think a lot of people have to play like they're like coaches who are like have clients and really doing something, because they feel like that's the only way to show like that their business is successful. But I think there's a lot to be learned when people see you going through the process and can understand where you came from and now see the growth. I think there's a huge thing in seeing the growth. But this one says, I feel you, Kevin. Bro, I deal with the same shit.
Listen, I think we all deal with similar situations and things, and that's gonna create it. You finna hear it.
That's okay, because
it's finna go dead.
Mm-hmm. You have to just let me just do my thing.
Go ahead.
I'm reading another comment. So this says, question, is that a difference for just posting about the person on Facebook? Because I've seen groups like that and people screenshot and send it around. I don't know if that's for me or is that for Martha. Everyone should have a mentor, time in service, and have evidence of work. Agreed. Being a business owner ain't easy. Whew, that's so true. It's all affronts. So many prime put on to look like something they're not. It's okay to be in the process of success. I'm definitely in the process phase of my life.
People,
Agreed.
not prime.
I mean, I was just reading it. I got it.
I was just reading the next comment.
Yes, it's so many people putting on. Agreed. And I think for us, our Boss Fest brand says that. Like people have been able to watch the growth and we're still growing. And I think that's important to show where we came from. And, you know, hopefully one day, like having this all laid out and being super successful, but it's all in the process. When you see someone like, bam, they got it all together, to me, it's like, do you really? And you don't have to pretend like you have it all. It's okay to tell people I'm still growing and still learning. I think they can respect you more.
No, people like to see that it's authentic. And the one thing we tried to do in this whole process, if we could have kept it secret, but we was like, man, let me show you the struggles. Let's talk about how this is costing this, and do we break even? Is it putting us in the red? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? Because we're going to continue striving to be great. We all know that, you know, you got to keep failing to be great at something. And these fly-by-night success stories that show up locally on us, like, bro, where was you at? Like, now you over here and you got a QR code to your class and your course and you doing this. Like, where did you come from? Like, come on.
Maybe they've been there. We just didn't see them.
If they've been there and we didn't see them, then they wasn't moving loud enough. Because
maybe some people feel that about us. Like they're like, man, who is them people? Like somebody's gonna see us and be like, where they came from. They just popped up. Are we moving loud enough?
That's a good question. Are we moving loud enough? Because there's a lot of things I see happening around in our community. I'm like, man, who are these people? Why aren't they reaching out to us? Or why don't we know who they are? So maybe it's
It's a rite of passage. Kevin got to know who everybody is. If you're gonna be successful, you got to make it through the gate.
No, I don't. I think these other people are fake gatekeepers around here, and
so people are agreeing with you. Be real, no apprenticeship at all. So
I'm just saying, how many?
So fake gatekeepers.
It is, and I'm trying to navigate through all these spaces and be the most authentic version I can through this process. But this entrepreneurship junk is hard, and
it was hard.
I can understand Cat Williams' frustration, especially when there's people when he's made it to a place that he can show his body of work, and you got other people commenting who ain't even been able to produce the amount of work that he's done. That's why you a Fat Faizon Lie. Because I like if you compare the two, Cat Williams, Faizon Love, both of them are comics doing comedy stuff. Faizon has a good body of work. It don't compare to Cat Williams though. So for someone like that to say, man, it's easy to get this, or it's like it ain't complicated to do that. They doing this, they doing that. And I've seen a couple of things that Faizon Love has, a couple of interviews and stuff like that. Like he always got the answer to some shit, but he ain't using the answer to benefit him.
I was wondering where we was going with this. Okay.
It's just weird to me.
So basically what you're saying is people got a lot to say when they're pointing at other people, but they're not doing the same thing for themselves.
Right. Like some people out here like, man, you need to do this, do this, do this. You ain't even doing that shit.
People always gonna have something to say. Right. Won't do it themselves, but always have something to say. That's the world of social media. Yeah, you put something out there and somebody gonna, man, you shouldn't do that. I don't like that. What is that? You doing a podcast? Don't nobody like podcasts. Someone's always gonna have something to say. That's the world we live in. Whether it's good or bad, somebody got something to say about it.
Oh man, you trying to bring them to Boss Fest? Why you doing that? That don't make sense. Ain't nobody gonna come see them. Just because you don't want to come see them don't mean other people won't. Chill out. But keep that negativity.
But everything isn't for you. But when you say keep that negativity, I mean, that's the same thing when you say you're telling your big dreams to someone with a small mind. Everyone isn't going to believe in what you think your success is. So you just got to put people in their certain categories. Like if you tell something to someone and they say, man, that ain't gonna work, that ain't gonna happen, put them in that category. You don't need to tell them anymore your dreams anymore, because that's not for, like, they're not gonna move in that same space. Be done with that.
Simple.
You got a lot of hearts and a lot of stuff out there.
I got a few hearts. Got some stuff.
And you gonna call people a Fat Faizon Lie this year?
And they getting it. They are getting it this year.
So listen, we got a couple minutes left because the video guy, he had started us late. The sound guy, video guy, it was all messed up when we first started. Mm-hmm. But before we leave the people, I actually want to talk about Boss Fest.
Run it.
So our tickets go live on Friday. I really hope Friday is the 12th because I'm not looking at it. Hold on. I want to read this last comment. I've been working in my area for the last 10 years and I have, dang.
Good. I put it on
but it moved to the last 10 years and I have so much proof of work and I'm afraid to even put out my ebook and stuff. I'm still a student and still learning. People ask and I'm just scared. So the fly-by nights, nah, I agree with you, but I think it's
Martha,
positive to have a level of being scared. I feel like that's a good feeling, and like Kevin said, put it out there.
Live on the edge of that fear. Yeah, it can be hypocritical for me to sometimes say that because I'm just now learning to play in that space. So take it from somebody that's still learning and navigating in that space. If you've already created that, put it out there. See what happens with it. Put your face behind it. Put your brand behind it. Put your energy behind it. Because sometimes we looking at the people around us and hoping that they see validation in it. But 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna be these people that's right beside us. It's gonna be somebody else that watching you from a different state, a different area, that's gonna find value in what you're doing. And once enough people like that gravitate to it, then believe me, all these people that didn't want to support you that was right beside you, then all of a sudden oh man, I always believed in you. No, you didn't. You ain't believing.
Yeah, once you made it, everybody believed in you then. So I want to thank you for our flowers. It says Edwina, Kevin, y'all making noise and progressing. Keep going. I appreciate it. And this comment says remain teachable. Always have a coach. There's always something you can learn from. Somebody else has done it. We not remaking the wheel here. Find a coach, remain teachable. And if you can't teach somebody else, like, we don't need to gatekeep.
We don't need to gatekeep. But go ahead. What you just going to say about Boss Fest?
So I was going to say the tickets for our next event go live on Friday, and it's a Boss Fest Presents event. And the reason why I say that, because we will keep our main Boss Fest event in October, but we have our first event of the year, April 7th, and it is Boss Fest Presents Content is King.
What's the purpose of this event?
There ain't no quiz me. You tell them what the purpose of this event is.
You're supposed to just jump in.
Kevin, what's the purpose of this event?
Man, the purpose of this event is to learn and grow. So the reason why we created Boss Fest Present Content is King is because we know we struggle in social media.
He wanted to say this anyways.
Thank you. I'm glad you put it back on me. So there's a lot of reports out there that's saying that the way that we get information, news, and media is going to drastically shift in the next 5 to 10 years. If you pay attention now, less and less people are watching cable TV. They're getting all the information from social media and things like that. If you're not jumping on that wave and trying to figure out how do you market yourself, your brand, your business,
you've been practicing this, yo,
through this avenue, you're missing out on a great opportunity. So what we did was we bringing in some people who are already marketing on this stuff, capitalizing on this stuff, to come teach us. So while they're coming to teach us and we're paying for the teachers, why not you get into the room too and learn at a discounted rate? Because these people charge a bag. So if we pay in the bag, why don't you pay a couple of pennies to learn the same game so we can get better together? Because believe me, no matter what type of business you have, you're going to want to reach more people. That's the name of the game. Your money is in other people's pocket. So the way for you to reach them is going to be through social media. And you ain't got to go do no radio ads no more and pay that money. You ain't got to worry about no commercials. You can do it all in the power of your phone. And these people going to teach us the game. That's what Content is King is about.
Good job.
I'm sorry, you can go ahead and do this.
No, good job. So the tickets launch on the 7th. Kevin pretty much said it all. I don't really have nothing else to add other than it's going to be a different experience. If you were a part of our last Boss Fest events, I'm telling you, it's still not going to be the same. We definitely appreciate all the support and love that we've been receiving for our events. We can't thank you guys enough. Please share the event, share our podcast. We're trying to bring big people to our area and learn and grow. So this comment says, y'all got to put the R next to Boss Fest. Y'all official. We are official. Thank you for that. We definitely got to put the R out there.
Absolutely.
It is official.
It is.
And it says great pitch, Kevin. Good job.
I'm getting better at this.
You really did good. So y'all stay tuned for the tickets dropping on Friday. This is going to be a different type of experience. We're trying to bring something that people haven't seen before to the area. And like I said, we're trying to grow, and we appreciate y'all watching us as we do so.
That's it.
So until next week, y'all can possibly catch me on Friday while I do it Wiener Rants. If not, I'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Hey, just so to get y'all hype about Boss Fest Presents, we're going to close it like this.
Entrepreneurship is not easy. I've cried so many nights. The money that I've thrown away trying to make this thing work. Y'all, please don't tell my husband because he may divorce me, but I say I give up so many times, but then I start again. And it's so important when you're in entrepreneurship to say, I'll get up and I'll do this again. I thank this man right here because he stands beside me. He supports me, and together we are going to make this thing work.
I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far.